Evening Magazine meet the world's best body. Carla Dunlap is the reigning queen of bodybuilding. We'll see what it takes to stay in shape as she works out in Massachusetts.
We'll take a look at a beauty contest for bigger bodies and talk to some people who say, yes, there is life after size 16.
We'll see some of the most romantic gifts in the world. How about a champagne bath for $54,000?
And we'll see some ballerinas in tutus who are too much. All that on Friday's edition of Evening Magazine.
Working out with the mighty Michael Quinn. Thank goodness it's Friday. And welcome to Evening Magazine. I'm Sarah Edwards.
And I'm Barry Nolan. And this is the Universe Gym in Somerville. And we've been watching Mr. Universe 1984 workout. And boy, I tell you, this is a place for some serious pumping iron. These guys that work out here are really dedicated. They tell me about 80% of this sport is really mental. You've got to have the discipline, follow the diet. It's tough.
If you signed up for the lifetime plan, do you think you could look like that ever?
Maybe one day I could be as big as one of his arms if I really.
I'd like to see you work on that, Bear. I'm glad to see more and more women are getting involved in weightlifting to build up the muscles a little bit, but there is a big difference between the sports of weightlifting and the sport of bodybuilding. In weightlifting, you do work on your strength, but in bodybuilding, as you're about to see, you sculpt the body beautiful. What was once a sport for men only is now a growing competitive sport for women. For the past 5 years, women's bodybuilding has developed by leaps and bounds. And one of the best bodies in the world belongs to this woman, Carla Dunlap of New Jersey. She's Ms. Olympia 1984. Carla trains in Lynnfield, Massachusetts.
The nice thing about bodybuilding is that you can correct certain flaws. Structurally, you can't change your bone structure, obviously. But basically, you can build out whatever is weak, and you can maintain or leave off whatever is very strong. This one is for the strong at heart. Walk back and sit down.
Because of the popularity of aerobics and the emphasis on being physically fit, women are no longer shunned for having a little muscle. However, there are still a few diehards left.
It's interesting that in being at the House of Health here in Lynnfield, people, when they see me, they expect this monstrous thing, and I think that's what women think is going to happen to them. That if they pick up a 5-pound dumbbell and they do a few curls, they're not going to wake up tomorrow morning looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I've had so many women come up to me at the club and say, you know, gee, I'd like to look like, how do you do that? And when you explain to them that they've got to train hard, the bodybuilding is one of the most effective ways to do it, and it's the fastest. Look down. Okay. With your tricep, what you want to do is you want to extend all the way down and really feel this tighten up here. Bring it back up just about right.
Well, there's more to bodybuilding than meets the eye.
It builds that self-confidence. It reduces anxieties. They've done studies where they've found that female bodybuilders suffer the least anxiety of all levels and categories of women in the work world.
Another phenomena in bodybuilding is mixed pairs, and having been a competitor as well as a judge in the sport, Carla knows all the right gestures needed to help this couple with their routine.
Never let her personality overshadow yours. You've got to stay as a couple. And what's happening is you're depending on her. You look like you're depending on her.
Right.
Always look relaxed. Smile. Because the minute you look tense, it looks like you're concentrating too hard on what you're doing. Go ahead. You can have the best physique in the world, and many bodybuilders make this mistake. They train hard, they diet hard, and they get on that competitive stage, and they don't do anything. They don't give of themselves. They're just John Doe or Mary Doe, and they don't stand out. You've got to make your mark.
And Carla is making her mark here in Montreal, Canada, defending her championship title as Ms. Olympia.
Hey, look me over. Tell me, do you like what you see? Hey, I ain't got no money, but I'm rich on personality. Hey, check it all out. Baby, I know what it's all about. Before the night's through, you will see my point of view. Even if I have to scream and shout, baby, I'm a
My strong point happens to be, as far as physique competition is concerned, is my posing, my presentation, how I present myself to the judges and the audience. In a way, it to me is the performing arts.
In fourth place, Carla Dunlap.
Unfortunately, Carla came in fourth. Carla may have lost her title, but she hasn't lost her competitive spirit.
It's one of the things that I like about competition in bodybuilding. It's not just running a straight line or running as fast as you can. It's how creatively you can get from one point to another.
Nice work, Mike. I can see why he's Mr. Universe. Well, as for Carla, she did find the Ms. Olympia contest to be tough, but that has not stopped her. She's already back in training for the Ms. World bodybuilding competition. And for you other women out there who think you cut a pretty fine figure, you should already be in training for the Ms. Massachusetts competition this spring in Worcester. They're looking for the best female body in the state. We'll come back with more of our Thank Goodness It's Friday edition of Evening Magazine in just a moment.
Watching Cheryl and Donna working out, getting ready for the North American Bodybuilding Championships, which take place next September. It takes 9 months to get ready for a competition.
I was talking to them. Their life is so disciplined while they're in training. They eat only natural foods. They work out about an hour and a half a day. There's no nightlife. They are so tough, but I'm glad to see they are continuing to break that stereotype that we all have to look like the thin model. I like a muscle-toned body.
Now, Americans do seem to have taken the idea that they will have their own definition of beauty, no longer take it from Madison Avenue, television, and movies. Right now, evenings, Pam Thompson takes us to meet some people who have some big ideas about what beauty should be. Well, the philosophies espoused by the Big Beautiful Women organization are becoming increasingly popular, as is reflected in the circulation of their magazine, which is now up to 300,000. You know, just as beauty is in the eye of the beholder, well, so is the definition of romance. For some, it's a quiet candlelit dinner. For others, it's a whirling night at the disco. Right now, evenings, Mary Ann Walzer goes shopping down in Texas for some unusual romantic gifts. Of course, there are some wonderfully romantic gifts that you can get much closer to home and considerably less expensive than those you just saw. For instance, tomorrow night, Boston Pops is having their final Christmas concert at Symphony Hall. Great place to go. And then both Saturday and Sunday, you can go up to Hammond Castle in Gloucester for Christmas in the Castle. Wonderfully romantic place to spend an evening. If you call our information line, 783-4636, we'll tell you how you can find out more about those events. Well, don't go away. We'll be back with more of our Thank Goodness It's Friday edition of Evening Magazine in just a moment.
Thank goodness it's Friday. When you face all the temptations this Christmas season, from eggnog to cookies, you realize this is the most important time to stay in shape. It's also a great time for holiday events. At the Charles Hayden Planetarium at the Museum of Science, you can see a fascinating program called A Christmas Star, Theories of the Star of Bethlehem. And this season, there's one of my favorites, the children's classic ballet, The Nutcracker, at the Wang Center. Right now, we're going to see a ballet of a different sort, where the ballerinas have poise and grace and hairy chests. Evening's Lee Jordan meets the Ballet Trocadero, where men are men and men wear tutus. Well, I think we ought to ask Mr. Universe if he could see himself in a tutu. What do you think, Mike, huh? I think that's a no, but I think you'll want to say yes to this holiday entertainment. Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol being performed at the Merrimack Theater in Lowell, Massachusetts, complete with Tiny Tim and Scrooge. We'll come back with more of our Thank Goodness It's Friday edition of Evening Magazine in just a moment.
Well, Sarah, we have finally come to that part of a bodybuilder's daily routine that I'm sure I can handle, drinking the protein drink. Michael's made us one here that involves a couple of raw eggs, some real cream, apple juice, and protein powder to your health.
I've been wanting to try this. Here's something I think you ought to try this weekend. 12th night at the Boston University Theater on Huntington Ave. I saw it a couple of weeks ago, and I thought they did a great job with that Shakespeare classic. It stars film actress Elizabeth McGovern. Real good.
And this is good. This tastes good to be so healthy and good for you, right?
Here's to your health.
Hey, and here's to yours. And hope you are here on Monday night, Christmas Eve. We will be spending on the Little Gray Lady of the Sea as we see Christmas in Nantucket.
I've always thought there's a mystical quality to the island. I don't know what it is. I feel every time I come down here, I just enjoy being here.
In his New England portrait, Steve Avison profiles a Dartmouth professor who loves the subject of Santa Claus. Then we'll see some special skaters in New England who, despite their handicap of deafness, have found a way to belong in a hearing world.
And we've got a very special Christmas music video for you starring the people of Boston. So that's on Christmas Eve. Hope you're here with us.
We'll have a good time on our Christmas show. See you Monday, everybody.